Number one in Sports MMA edition. Let's get her started. Some breaking news and some other stuff, as in the rankings and what's happening, what hasn't happened. But the breaking news, as you can see right there, you could trade with your own T-Ride, ladies and gentlemen. The rematch is official. It is officially set in. We got it. What we kind of expected to happen in the first place. The funny thing is, I seen something earlier that said Ilya Topuria, Alexander Volkanovski will be set for some other date, and then this came out, and then the Douglas or Costa situation, and it's all over the place. So a couple of those fights are apparently the Costa fight could still go, but so both of those fights, obviously, one is a rematch, but so the Costa situation, he had a staph infection, so he had to get surgery. Went on the Ariel Helwani show, the MMA Hour, and said he's okay and he's going to fight, and there's some fear of cancellation and all this other good, not good stuff actually, but because most of us are looking forward to this fight with the whole situation that happened at the Apex, which was about a year ago or so. So Dana White was like saying that people were like, or the media told Dana like, what's the situation like? Are you calling people for, or calling for replacements? And he pretty much said yes. So this fight's still in the air. Nothing has been said so far. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything on social media. Because that post fight or that interview for the Dana White Contender Series was just about 2 hours ago, or actually much longer than that. Confused on my timing, but so you got that situation. You get the rematch. Looking forward to that. But so far, Magomed versus Johnny Walker, which I'm looking forward to this fight because I feel like Johnny Walker has somewhat been overlooked lately. It seems like because he's on a streak right now. Was it 2 this year? And then there was the Paul Craig one was somewhat impressive in a way, catching the leg and then just bam bam with the hammer fist. And now he's in the middleweight division, as in Paul Craig, and he's doing pretty good himself. So that's a pretty good one for him, I guess. Then he did have the loss against Jamal this week, the lightweight champion. But he did beat Guatemala, or whatever his name is. But did have the loss against Santiago, which Diego he failed the drug test up in, was it PFL 1 or PFL 1? I think that's one of the ones. I'm not 100, but it was one of those two. I believe so. But yeah. So the Antonio Smith. That one, Anthony Smith would have actually probably been a contender if he was considered a contender at the time, but losing that fight just kind of shook it up a little bit. To be honest, I thought he was on a 3-fight winning streak, but the Sweet Dream one isn't a bad loss or nothing. Even though it was the TKO. It was the crazy TKO when he went backwards and stuff. I forget about that. 2022. I thought that was actually in 2021, but it's 22. But yeah, that was nuts. That's when Sweet Dream went on the streak and he ended up doing his thing. Other news. Well, you already know most of the stuff I'm about to say, but the bantamweight situation. Some of us, most of us probably thought that it would either be the rematch or Merab Darwish Willie. And none of those came up, and now it's somebody who was kind of in the dumps, Marlon Ishito Vera. I thought so. I thought he'd have to at least win, or my thought was that he'd have to win at least 1 or 2 or 3 more fights to even be considered. But, with the outcomes that have been happening so far, or in the past couple of months or so, with Aljamain losing to Sean O'Malley. Some people were even saying that, old boy Sean or Sterling should have called for the rematch right away, which he probably should have. But he was probably, he also had the thought in his head, like, Merab situation, how he should get his chance as well. And you got Henry Cejudo, who's probably thinking if he gets another win, he is in the picture. Because him and his Shannon Mary's situation, which a lot of people thought Henry was going to beat Sterling, which he didn't. Then Corey Sandhagen ended up getting a surgery. Anybody else that was injured? Rob Font's been somewhat here and there. He's been pretty good lately. Dominic Cruz commentating. And Umar obviously got injured too, or he'd be in a pretty good situation himself right now. But right now, it's Chito versus Sterling, which people most likely don't agree with. I'm not 100 if it was already. I thought I had seen a tweet or Instagram of a tweet that said that they were working on a specific date. I believe it's next year. But I haven't heard anything after that. I don't know. Some of these pages is just like fans and stuff and media, certain media people just, speculations and putting these things together. But no, for sure it's Cheeto versus O'Malley. It sounds like from everybody that's what's going to happen because Merab is already scheduled for a fight, and I don't know about Sterling's situation, if he's going to wait or he's going to go up a division, which, because he said he was going to go up a division, but remember, he said that if he was going to win, but he obviously lost that. Then he was also saying that he would fight Alexander the Great. Obviously, that wouldn't be able to happen even if he had won, because Alexander Zerget, Alex has obviously got his fight situation. Plus, he has someone in his division, anyways, in Elite Poria. Now I don't know what happens with that. If Alex wins the fight, that puts us in a situation where do we need a rematch? If Alex wins the fight, obviously you're going to do a rematch because these are pound for pound guys. Plus, what is it, Dubai or I don't know, one of the Middle Eastern countries. You got that. They're probably going to want that again. Probably not too long after the situation. But if Islam wins, you can scratch that. Charles is next or gets remote control. Charles is for sure next. Unless Gaethje steps up, because Charles' injury with the eyebrow, I don't know if you saw that. That's also stuff that I just saw yesterday. But yeah, that's a whole big situation. Them matchmakers got to deal with themselves. But what do we got coming up this week? Let's see. Is it this week? Yeah, I think it's this week, actually. I'm tripping. Wait, is it the 21st? I have to figure this out. I knew it was close. I remember telling my friend, is it this week? He was like, he was confused on the situation because I was confused on the situation. I know we had 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off, making it sound like it's a freaking job. It's right on my freaking. It's right on my computer. It's 11:21. And the fight is on the 21st, so we got the Yusuf fight. And it's right in front of me, too. I should probably just look a little better. Ederson Barbosa. Barbosa, we haven't seen in a hot second. At least I believe so. Jennifer and all these other dudes. Looking forward to the Adrian Yanez fight. That should be pretty decent. Michel Pereira, I believe he pulled out of a fight not too long ago, or something happened. And then we get the big fight. It's kind of a shocker that Alex just stepped in like that. But yeah, this Scott is pretty stacked. Then we get to 229, the big one. I don't know. That one was kind of big, but this one, with Yuri coming back, with Stipe coming back, pretty decent fight as in Diego versus Pat Sabatini, Sabatini. Andrade making a fight. Andrade always finding a way in one of these big fights for some freaking reason. But Mackenzie Dern, we all know. Saint Denis. Ooh, that one should be the Saint Denis. Other news. I don't believe there was any other than the. I'm not sure if a lot of these fights, big fights, have been called since the last time made since the last time I made any video. One big one. I was looking forward to it. Jailton Almeida versus Curtis Blades. If you're a Almeida fan, because he's pretty freaking good as a heavyweight. He doesn't look like a heavyweight, to be honest. Looks more like a light heavyweight. But man's got grappling, man's got I'm not 100 on his power, but from what I've seen so far, Mans looks like he's got strength and everything. A couple of Kai Bahino, I was looking forward to that as well. I didn't actually know, but I mean, just in general, I look forward to his fights because he's making some noise in the middleweight division. Yeah, not sure on the rest of them at the moment, but who knows if the majority of these fights happen. Oh yeah, and from what I heard, Jailton Almeida versus Derek Lewis, the Beast, Derek Lewis. It doesn't say it here. I don't know what's up with that, but from what I've heard, I don't know whose podcast it was. Some big timer, one of the big timer guys. They were talking about it, and when they speak about it, they most likely. I don't know if it was from DC. If they those guys are pretty obviously they're pretty freaking close to the UFC. If they talk about it so openly, then it's most likely already happened. It's just not updated on the page. Paul Craig versus Brandon Nolan. This is a pretty big fight, even though it's. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure one of these guys is ranked, or both guys are ranked. It just doesn't show right here. Let's see. Craig, let's go to the rankings. Justin Jacoby. Okay. Paul Craig, but dang it, it's kind of shocking that he went right into there because he was in the lightweight. Let's see if he's not in the lightweight. He was in there before though, right? I'm correct. I mean, Dominic Reyes, what? Not sure what he's doing there, but well, actually, I do know. It's probably because the lightweight division is one of the weaker divisions in the UFC. Oh well, that calls for the show. Once the duck starts quacking, we got to get to bouncing. But yeah, Paul Craig is in there, and who the heck was the guy? That forgetful, ain't I? Brandon Elon, um, right there, number 9. So it's a much bigger fight than I actually thought. Um, maybe future title implications with this Paul Craig, because Paul Craig is just he looked pretty good in his last fight. I'll tell you that. And that ain't no cap like again. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for the watches, the views. Thanks for the views. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see what comes up in this crazy landscape so far. See what happens.